my time to shine. He took over. He got it. Splash. And that will put some gauze on it.
Saw they were having a lot of fun, dishing it off to each other. The dunks were happening, just a good time.
Welcome inside East Kentwood's Gymnasium tonight, and today it's the home of the 6th annual Gotta Get It Classic, and we're proud to bring you all 6 games right here on the Prep. Hello again, everybody. My name is Chad Bush alongside Evan Stockton. We are getting ready for 6 of the best games in the state and a tournament, Evan, that just continues to impress year after year.
I mean, when you get ready for this tournament every year, you look down the list, you're like, wow, they got these guys. Wow, they got these guys. Seriously, there are a lot of teams here today who chose to play in this tournament because they want to make the Breslin Center in a couple of months, and this is an awesome challenge for these teams, specifically Byron Center, who's coming off a game against maybe the best team in the state, Muskegon, last night, that they lost in a hard-fought battle. Now they're going to flip right around and play Grand Blanc. It's a heck of a game to start the day.
It sure is. Grand Blanc, a program under Doris Martin that is resurgent. He grew up under the Mike Thomas system, and Grand Blanc plays that way. They've got some young guys, Evan, but they've got some guys that can beat you as well in Huddleston.
Yeah, Huddleston is very good, and let's watch out for the freshman Cooley as well. You may remember when the Preps coverage earlier this year of Grand Blanc against Cass Tech, Cooley was pretty good. And a couple of weeks ago, big win for Grand Blanc against Detroit Catholic Central. Yep. Cooley was their best player in that game.
Just a freshman. They got another freshman in the system as well. Bright future, but the future is now for Byron Center. Yeah. You mentioned the tough loss last night against Muskegon. We talked to head coach Rodriguez before the game. He still feels good about his team. He's got some talent included in that guard spot.
Yeah, they really do. So at their guard spot, they've got Kean Hinkle, who's an outstanding shooter. They had a great football team this year. They got some football guys as well. And I know there's a few eyeballs focused on their center. 6'9", 220, Camden Carroll. Heck of a talent going to Bowling Green. I'm just sitting here fascinated to see what kind of juice Byron Center plays with in this game. Not only did they lose to Muskegon last night, but earlier this week, they lost to a Rockford team that we'll see later on today here at the Gotta Get It Classic. You talk about going through the gauntlet, man. They are really tested this week at Byron Center.
Yeah, you bet. Back-to-back top 10 teams going at it. We've got some 6 great games ahead. We're glad you're with us on the Prep. We'll have the starting lineup so we come back to East Kentwood High School right after this.
At Alliance Catholic Credit Union, we're your financial guardian angel. We're here to help you achieve your dreams. A new home, a Catholic education, that business you are working to build. We're here to support the goals of your family, your retirement, and the community that surrounds you. We're here to offer your trusted financial services inspired by Catholic values. And like your guardian angel, we'll always be by your side. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk it. At the same time, gotta walk it. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again.
The store is set up. He's got the order, and he's off. It's a full court press. These brands are knocking it out of the park. This, my friends, is the speed we've come to expect from this team. Just look at the precision of that move. And it's out of here.
In today's ever-changing mortgage lending world, the importance of true professionals has never been greater. At Success Mortgage Partners, we want you to have the experience of a lifetime. Founded and owned by Catholic League alumni, our family-centered business keeps your interest at heart as we help you navigate this turbulent market with ease. If you or a family member has a mortgage need, please call me Owen Lee at 734-822-9792.
Chad and Evan with you from the Gotta Get It Classic. Let's meet the starters this afternoon. For the Grand Blanc Bobcats, 4-4 on the year, 0-1 in league play. They play in the Saginaw Valley League, and it looks like this. It's Isaiah McCree to start at one of the guard spots, 5'9" sophomore. Their best scorer, Donnie Huddleston, starts at the guard spot, 6'2" senior. Emmanuel Cooley, the guy that Evan told you about, just a freshman at 5'11" at one of the guard spots. It'll be Nate Shimbera, the forward at 6'2", and the senior. And then the other fella up front is Jaden Higgins, who wears number 32. Higgins 6'5", under Jerice Martin, the head coach. Jawan Cooley, his assistant.
Yes, this is a Grand Blanc coaching staff that, as you said, Chad, followed from Mike Thomas and the outstanding lineage that he had built at Grand Blanc. This is always a good program. One of those programs in the state in basketball where you kind of don't care what their record is. You have to take them seriously because of what they've done in the past.
Byron Center, 8-3 on the year, 1-1. They took a tough couple losses this week, Muskegon last night. They'll start like this. Keegan Hinkle, their best player, 18 points a game, 48% from downtown. The kid's a sniper, getting big minutes this year and taking advantage. 2.5 assists per game and 2.5 steals for Keegan Hinkle, number 2. Isaac Lee headed to Penn to play football, an outstanding athlete, a 4-year varsity player. Number 3, Isaac Lee, a guy who's a receiver and a defensive back. Cash Bont, 12 points a game, another 3-point shooter, 47%. Watch out for him downtown. And Camden Carroll, he goes by Cam from now on, the Bowling Green State commit at 6'9". Joe Rodriguez, the head coach in his 6th year. Josh Van Dyne, the assistant. All right, we're ready for basketball. Byron Center, left to right. Lee to the left point. This is Keegan Hinkle. Aquinas offer, D2s are calling, D3s are calling too. Kick to the long corner, and around the horn they go against this tight Bobcat defense.
And remember, too, we have a shot clock all day long, so let's see how often teams remember and recognize, got to get this thing up.
That's Hinkle right away. Missed it. Offensive rebound, though, by his teammate Landon Conrad. Stick back, no. Conrad has another. He's football tough. 3-point shot, air biscuit. And Lee saves it to Shimbera.
I like that, though, early on for Byron Center. You want to make sure the legs are still there after the game last night and the tough games all week. Good effort by Conrad to get him a couple of cracks.
Yes, sir. Elbow jumper, that's Huddleston, no good. And the corner hustle is won out by Byron Center. And the officials have a timeout, and this is an injury on the floor. And this is not good. This is the top player for Grand Blanc, Donnie Huddleston, slow to get up. And Huddleston, their top scorer, and we saw him in Detroit at the Holiday Classic. He was fabulous, and you hope he's okay.
So watch him here right side. Oh, man. Yeah, it just looked like he landed on Conrad's foot, leg.
Yeah.
And he is being helped off the floor with little to no weight on that leg. That is quite literally the last thing you want to see in the first minute of the first game of the day.
Cassiton Sendry checks in, the talented 5'10" junior guard. Hinkle high on the left in front of the Grand Blanc bench, working against the newly checked in Sendry. Kean down low for Cam, and he couldn't find it. And the Bulldogs flip it over in this scoreless affair, 1 minute and 13 seconds gone by.
It's always interesting to watch plays like that. So Hinkle, it looked like, wanted to pull the trigger, but he thought better of it, and then just miscommunication down low. Sometimes you wonder if the guy should just pull the trigger on a shot like that. If you want to take it, just take it, you know what I mean?
I agree. Foul on the perimeter. So Byron Center played last night, Evan.
Yep.
And I know a tough taste in their mouth. How does that make them feel this morning to get back out on the court?
I honestly think it's the best thing. Whenever you play Muskegon with that pressure defense that Keith Guy brings, it's like playing 7 or 8 guys on the floor. So that's always a tough game against the Big Reds and their athleticism. So get right back on the floor. Get a quick change.
There's a steal, poke away, lay in good. The game has its first points. And that is a rip and steal. Count it for Cassius Cash Bont.
The thing about this Byron Center team, they have 4 guys in the starting 5 that average double figures. Something that would translate to the important games in February and March. You're not overly reliant on one guy to win ball games.
Meanwhile, Lee takes the charge. The Penn commit, a tough cookie. And Byron Center will get this thing back, leading 2-0. They played a game earlier this week as well and lost it to another league rival. So 2 losses back-to-back for Byron Center. They want to get right here today.
Yeah, I mean, they lost to Rockford in overtime, a very good Rockford team that we will see against De La Salle later on this afternoon. No shame in it, but you got to get right today if you're Byron Center.
Bont for 3, no. Rebound picked up. Ahead to Sendry. Sendry traveled, no call. Left hand laying good. And count it for Isaiah McCree, the 5'9" sophomore.
By their standards, this is a young Grand Blanc team. They do have 3 senior starters, but also a freshman and a sophomore in there. McCree, like Cooley, there's a reason those young guys are starting. They're talented.
Big-time youth movement. Lee with an 18-footer, no. Carroll couldn't save it. Out of bounds, back to Grand Blanc, a team that lost earlier this week as well to Saginaw United. So they're looking to get right as well. Grand Blanc 4-4, 0-1 in league play.
Played a pretty good schedule. Beat Detroit Catholic Central a couple of weeks ago. Lost in the PSL Classic at Cass Tech. They're not scared about a matchup, a contest against Byron Center. They've been battle tested.
They'll be ready for their league. Kick down low. It's a turnover. He was trying to find Nate Shimbera, but active hands confused that path.
This is not surprising to see this slow start. Byron Center literally was playing 16 hours ago, and Grand Blanc, although they quote-unquote come and rested, they also haven't played since Tuesday, which sometimes is a longer layoff for high school teams.
You bet. 1-6 to start from the floor for Byron Center. Tied at 2, and that is tipped out of bounds on that right baseline, intended for Cash Bont. Active hands by Nate Shimbera. Landon Conrad. Down low to Cam Carroll, the Bowling Green State commit. Short with a shot, the 10-footer, but he gets rewarded line right with 2 free throws.
I did wonder when they were going to start force-feeding Carroll, because we saw it on the tip-off. The man's just flat bigger than anybody than Grand Blanc has, and with unfortunately Huddleston out of the game, there's no one really to counter him athletically. That may be the counter here for Byron Center. Look, the guy's just taller. He's just better. Let's get him the basketball.
He's having a fine campaign. Carroll leads this team with 8 rebounds a game and is second in points with 15. They like the fact that he can do things. He's a versatile big.
He really is, and that's how bigs are these days. You know, especially if you're going to go play college, and Carroll's going to go play D1 at Bowling Green. Tough fall off on the other end for Grand Blanc. Yeah, if you're Carroll, you got to be multifaceted, and he is.
Floater, short corner right. That's no good for Landon Conrad. And so here comes Grand Blanc in this 4-2 low-scoring affair. 1 of 7 for Byron Center. Just 3 shots in this game for Grand Blanc. 1 of 3 in the contest.
Without Huddleston, you can tell not quite as the flow offensively right now. They're trying to figure out what new pieces have to fit in slots with him out of the game.
He does so much for them. And this is a take to the tin. The guy who replaced Huddleston off the bench, Cassiton Sendry. Tie game. Attack, throw away on the baseline, tie up, and we've got a jump ball. It'll go the other way, and the Bobcats got a little mojo cooking.
This is the second time in this game where I understand if you're Hinkle, you want to get guys involved. You want to make Grand Blanc respect the shot fake. But, Kean, you want to shoot the ball. Just shoot the ball. You've got an open look there. put it up at some point. I think he's overthinking it just a little bit here. If you're a shooter like he is, shoot the ball.
Yep. Sometimes a little too unselfish, they say.
Which is a good problem to have in everyday life, but in basketball, sometimes be selfish. You know what I mean?
That's right. Connor Jinks checks in off that bench for Grand Blanc. They play about 9. He's a soccer guy. There's a knockaway. Carroll poked it out of there. Picked up by Connor Jinks. Throw ahead to Carroll, the big fella, working his way down the avenue and lays it in.
Byron Center's going to win 2 things. 1, they got to establish Hinkle's shot outside. 2, just keep feeding Carroll, because right there he was double, nearly triple team, and he still scored with relative ease. Grand Blanc cannot handle him inside right now and probably won't be able to the entire game at this rate.
Carroll has 4 of the first 6. For Byron Center, 8 wins. Topside 3 from way downtown, and that's a tie-up, that's a jump ball. No, it's not. They're going to get a foul on this, and I believe it's going to go on Byron Center. It'll be over the back on Jaden Bowman, who's on a familiar floor today. Here's another look.
Yeah, Bowman, the transfer from East Kentwood. His old guys will play in our second game of the day coming up. That's a really good game against a Detroit Renaissance team, Chad, that you saw last night eke out that win against King. You talk about quick turnarounds, right? Rennie pulls out that heart-stopping win right down to the end against King, and now they got to take a longer bus ride out here to play a East Kentwood team on their own floor. That's a real tough test for Rennie.
It really is. Ziante Looney checks in off the bench, 5'9" junior, and Gio Cannon does as well, the 6'2" junior. Right wing Cannon pass picked off. Going the other way, Connor Jinks to the rack, lays it in. That defense turned into offense, and Byron Center very good at anticipation.
Yeah, especially considering the quick turnaround and all the tough games they played. Their legs look fine to me. No issues there.
Yep, force a turnover here. That's turnover number 6 in the contest. Substitutions back in for the Bulldogs is number 10, Easton Weichers. He's the backup quarterback in football and a deadly three-point shooter at 43%. Trying to get Carroll perhaps in that block. Now they got him. The double team is there, and that's a carry or no.
Called foul on the floor, apparently.
That was an odd-looking call. I don't know that hand signal. Foul on the floor is right. Here's another look. So, Weichers will trigger. Easton Weichers. Inbound to Carroll, who tosses it in. He's got 6. Carroll, the story of the first quarter.
Well, another story, too, because they can't stop Carroll. Shimbera already has picked up 2 fouls. They're going to have to find some way to stop Carroll, because right now he's killing them.
That's Max O'Mara for 3, no. The freshman is fouled on the floor trying to get his shot. And Max, 6'4", freshman they really like. Here's another look at his hustle.
So I don't know this for sure, but I got to imagine Max is related to his brother Bryce, who was on those great Grand Blanc teams for the last couple of years, because he looks just like him. I picked my head up, looked at him, and went, wait, Bryce is still on the team? How is that possible?
Yep. No, it's his brother. One dropped off, one popped in. Long corner shot, up and good. That's Cassiton Sendry, who's taken advantage of his extended time.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's going to have to step up, because in case you're just joining us, unfortunately, Huddleston got hurt in the first minute. Grand Blanc's just going to need more to hang in this game from everybody.
Carroll swirling, twirling, missed it. And here comes the Bobcats looking to get this thing closer. In the final minute of the first quarter of a 6-game affair today. We'll have it all for you on the prep. Right corner 3, in and out. Lee with 47 seconds, throw ahead. Bounce to Weichers. No good. Back the other way. 2-on-2. And that's Sendry to the rack. He missed the short runner. O'Mara with a save. Had to settle down topside to Looney.
And now we see how teams either remember or don't the shot clock. almost didn't matter because Lee almost stole it. Shot clock is turned off here, so Grand Blanc can play for the final shot of this first quarter.
Yeah, we should remind folks, there is a shot clock today. Just not right now.
There should be a shot clock for every game, but that's a conversation for another time.
That's right. Gio Cannon pull up, 17-footers, good. Cuts it to 2, 4 seconds left. Lee at the horn from half court. And a videographer has fun with that missed shot. So, we got a tight one. 2-point game, Byron Center, as we go back to the second quarter, back after these. The store is set up. He's got the order, and he's off. It's a full court press. These brands are knocking it out of the park. This, my friends, is the speed we've come to expect from this team. Just look at the precision of that move. And it's out of here.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McGinley scores!
That's Joe Rodriguez. He's the bench boss in his 6th year. Spent some time at Fenville and at Lawton. And he's a native of Fenville. Went to Western Michigan. And he's the AD at BC West Middle School. Married with 2 kids, son and daughter, Gabriel and Mila. And they're going to be playing basketball. And he's going to get a chance to be just a fan and a supporter. And that's a cool thing.
We'll see how long that lasts until at some point he's going to be giving those coaching tips, but we'll see. No, it was great talking with Coach over the last couple of days. Really impressed with the work that he has done with this Byron Center program.
You bet. Drive by Hinkle, back out to Lee now. The Penn commit. Rip, drive, Hinkle, scoop, and score. That is Kean Hinkle, their top scorer.
Remember how I said at some point Hinkle's just going to have to say, the heck with this, I am shooting the ball? That's what he did. As soon as he got that ball, you could see it in his eyes, taking this thing right to the rack, and he did.
3-level scorer. You saw the quickness there on the bounce. Shot short, rebound pulled off by Jaden Bowman. Quickly ahead to Bott. Bott kick corner. Lee rainbow 3. In and out, no good. Gio Cannon the other way. .33% shooting in this game for Byron Center, 36%.
Great news, Chad, for Grand Blanc. That's Donnie Huddleston over by the scorers table, about to check back in.
That is great news. Good to see him returning. Sendry's going to pick up a charge. That'll go the other way. Byron Center moving leagues this past offseason. They moved to the OK Green. Tough overtime loss to Rockford on Tuesday. And they were in control for most of that game, too. That's what really hurt. As we talked to him this morning, was being oh so close, going to overtime against a top 5 team like Rockford.
But they'll learn, right? In games like that, you have the calluses built up, so you get to late February and March, you'll know how to close those games out. That's why you play those really, really tough teams, to get yourself better.
Yep. It's an offense a bit unorthodox, Coach Rodriguez says. He says, we fit the scheme that we have best. High IQ group, but right now they're not together quite yet.
You could definitely tell that both of these teams are coming in a little bit of a different phase here. So Byron Center's played the tough games this week, the quick turnaround that we've talked about. Grand Blanc also hasn't played since Tuesday.
Yep.
And it's an earlier start time, noon, you take the bus ride over, all those sorts of things.
For sure. Got to find out who ate their Wheaties and who didn't.
Right.
18-footer, back iron miss. No, that's Malachi Evans. Hinkle on the rebound and the run out. Throw ahead to Lee. Lee on the attack. And the 4-year varsity player and the 2-sport star will draw the foul.
Okay, so this play, right, you're going to get Lee to the line, but this is all set up by Hinkle. A, he got the rebound. B, he fed Lee with a great bounce pass looking ahead. Hinkle should just clip up that little sequence and send it to scouts because he's one of the smallest men on the floor, but he looked like the biggest there, grabbing that rebound and then leading the break. Good stuff.
A lot of confidence in Hinkle, a guy that didn't play a ton last year, kind of had to wait in the wings. And
right.
Another guy was in his spot that graduated, but he's taken advantage of it. Easton Weichers will check out. And Landon Conrad returns. Free throws are good. It's a 6-point lead to match their largest. The Bulldogs of Byron Center. A lot of great athletic programs as of late. The soccer program, the football program, of course, going to the state championships. Volleyball going deep into the state championships. Hockey won it all last year. They got a good baseball pro. I mean, Byron Center's hot right now with their sports programs.
And by the way, they love this matchup with a team from the east side. Anytime someone from west plays east, they are going, come on now, we're just as good, if not better, than you guys. Everyone on the west side thinks we forget about them in Metro Detroit.
Yep.
We should never forget about those teams from the west side. They are very good in all sports every year.
Yes, sir. Coming up next, we'll have East versus West. In fact, all day we'll have that. It'll be East Kentwood, the host school of this tournament, coached by, of course, Mike Thomas, taking on Detroit Renaissance.
That'll be an awesome game. And interesting, too, the last couple of years covering this tournament, East Kentwood has always been the nightcap, the last game. This year, they play at 2 o'clock, right, in the middle of things, nearly in the middle of things. I'll be curious to see what that game looks like because Detroit Renaissance is very good, but coming off that game last night, which you have to imagine took a lot of energy out of them.
Yeah, and a lot of emotion. Missed shot, Carroll with a big boy rebound, and the nice outlet to Hinkle. Kean on the attack. That's that floater with the left hand. No good, out of bounds, and it's going to go back to the Bulldogs. Baseline right. Neither team shooting extremely well. Both teams 31%. Kind of what you expect in a game like this, Evan, early on. What do teams need to focus on if the scoring's not happening at this point?
So when the scoring's not happening, it's easier said than done. It's simple to say. You got to get better looks. How do you get better looks? You go inside. The thing that just worries me for Grand Blanc is with dealing with 15, Camden Carroll, they just can't find a way consistently to set themselves up inside. Their defense, for the most part, has done a pretty good job. They're just working too hard on offense. You know what I mean? They're not finding those simple looks, those easy buckets that allow them to get back in a game. This is a huge final 4 minutes and change in the first half. Grand Blanc cannot fall behind by more than 6 points going into halftime. 6 points feels like a lot for them to make up in the second half.
Yeah, it does. 7 turnovers in this game for Grand Blanc. Trying to get a shot off here. That's O'Mara down the avenue with a little show and go. That's the 9th grader, Max O'Mara.
He's going to be a really good player. His brother was, and a move like that as a freshman, that's how he play. And then he just played some great defense down there. How about it, Max? Working hard on a Division I commit in Camden Carroll and made him look silly. That's a great sequence for 11 in black.
You bet. Turnover by the Bulldogs. Grand Blanc trying to take advantage. 4 straight points. Let's see how healthy Huddleston is. Long with a shot, Carroll with another board. And threw it away.
That's what happens when you're tired. And that's what happens when you just played last night. That's what happens when you got the quick turnaround coming into this game. Clear the rebound, a simple outlet pass that you've made 100,000 times and goes out of bounds. That's what happens when you're physically and mentally tired. And you don't blame Byron Center for being that way.
And Grand Blanc will toss another one away, perhaps in that same kind of tired boat. Meanwhile, into the game, returning is Jaden Bowman for Byron Center. Hinkle will take a rest. So will Carroll, the big boy. So we'll see how the Bulldogs respond with their top 2 scorers out of the game. And their leading rebounder and a leading assist man. Lee. Jet quick. Fader. Floater, no good. And the Bobcats want to run. all the way, and that's lost out of bounds. No, tipped out of bounds by Bowman. The baseline official says so. Grant Blanc got 15 points from Huddleston and 15 from Emmanuel Cooley. In the broadcast we did on the 27th in Detroit, and their loss to Cass Tech. They competed in that game though, Evan, and we saw enough to know that this Bobcat team, although young, potent. And that is the most potent. And the best sign of the day for the boys in black. Splash City for Donnie H. And this game is a one-point game.
Well, and all of a sudden, we talk about the balance scoring for Byron Center. They just can't get a bucket. That defense for Grand Blanc is stiffening down low. We talked about trying to feed Camden Carroll. Well, he's on the bench right now. Hinkle's on the bench, and with both those guys on the bench, there's just not somebody for Byron Center who's been able to grab the offensive reins, and it's gotten Grand Blanc back in the game. Huddleston healthy, open for three. That's not a good decision to leave him that open.
No, sir. Bont and Bowman team up for an opportunity for the former East Kentwood Falcon. Transferring over from East Kentwood in the offseason. Hits the first. 2-point lead for Byron Center. Bulldogs playing their third game in 4 nights. 5 nights. My math's poor. I looked and I'm like, that's wrong.
Well, you should have seen. So Chad says it, and then he's doing the math on his fingers. He's like, hey, how many days? It's still early. It's still early. You're good.
How about that drive from the left side? Isaiah McCrea's second bucket. He's a 10th grader. He's part of the Bobcats youth movement.
I love this fight back from Grand Blanc. They were down 14-8, and they had nothing going offensively, but they're back in this game, and it's all started defensively. I'm telling you, Byron Center has not gotten an easy shot in what feels like an eternity. It's actually been like 4 minutes, but Grand Blanc's defense has led to offense, and they could take the lead here. How about it?
How about it is right. 0 of 6 from downtown as Byron Center, a team that shoots nearly 40% as a team from the long line. And you're right, the Lakes just aren't there right now. Here's a miss, and now Lee the other way with a crossover. Attacks the 10, lost it going up, and nearly saved on that baseline. Bulldogs keep it baseline right. Timeout on the floor, we'll take it with them. 1-point game with 93 seconds left. Evan and I are back to East Kentwood. Thanks for watching. We're the Prep.
My time to shine. He took over. He got it. Splash.
And that will put some gauze on it.
Thought they were having a lot of fun, dishing it off to each other. The dunks were happening, just a good time.
That's Darius Martin, a guy that's in his second year, went to Flint Northern High School, and he's also big coming from the AAU program, 5 years with Flint's finest, but he worked his way up. This is a guy that started with a freshman program, moved up to JV, and has just worked his way up the ladder. Darius Martin, a great story. Also went to Northwood and a liaison at the Reed Elementary School in Grand Blanc, and he loves to bowl. He's a good bowler. So is Alex Westfall. I'd love to see them head a bowl off.
God bless both you guys for being good at bowling. I am terrible at bowling. Bumpers up at all times.
Well, I'm awful too. So we'd have a pillow fight, you and I, if we bowled together, or one against one another. Hinkle with a loose change out to his classmate Lee. 4-3. Splash City. There he is, Isaac Lee, the unselfish playmaker who can pop that from distance.
I really love that timeout before the break by Coach Rodriguez. Look, we're not scoring. I don't want to give up this lead going into halftime. I got to get Hinkle and Carroll back in. What happens? Hinkle offensive rebound, find a man for a wide open three. Happens just like that.
McCree with it, working against the double team from Hinkle. And that's batted out of bounds. Active Hinkle defensively as well. Grand Blanc's going to also check in Kayston Sendry, who's had a solid first half. And look, Evan, this is a critical 48 seconds here in this game. 4-point swing turns to 6. You think different mentally. If it gets down to 2, it's also another emotional swing.
Yes, something that's important is the shot clock, and they're going to have to fix the shot clock because it is running right now when it should not be running. I believe it should be set at 35 seconds. Yep, there we go. So how does Grand Blanc attack this? If this was a college game, you go, okay, you probably want to go 2 for 1, right? But in a high school game, I don't know if you want to do that. If I'm Grand Blanc here, I'm drumming out the shot clock. I'm looking for my best shot.
Some good candidates out there. Huddleston in that one corner, O'Mara in the near corner, and Isaiah McCree, the point guard. We have yet to see Emmanuel Cooley get loose in this game, Evan. The freshman hasn't been a big storyline yet. 2 fouls and no points.
All right, so they actually put the shot clock at 15 seconds.
Okay. Here's Cooley against Lee. Tough defender. Freshman against the senior. Gives it up. Huddleston topside. 3 on the timer. Now 2 and now 1, and they won't get a shot off. It's a shot clock violation. Unaware was Sendry of this shot clock.
Of course he made that shot, by the way.
He did.
Like how many times does the guy get it off a full second after and he makes it? I swear it's a mental thing. Like, oh, shoot, I got it off late. Who cares if it goes in?
There it is.
And that was the toughest shot they've taken all day, and it went in. It's a strange sport sometimes.
It is. So we got a 14-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. No, we don't. Shot clock's off. It's confusing when it's not off. It's still on. It's just not running.
It's confusing for the players. It's confusing for the broadcasters, but it's all good because we should have one in every game. Have I said that yet today? I have.
You have. Hinkle in the corner. 2 seconds left in the half. Down low. Bowman laying short, and it wouldn't have counted anyway. So, 4-point lead for Byron Center in this mishmash of a first half. What do you make of it?
What I make of it is I really like the pushback from Grand Blanc. I mean, they were in danger here, kind of getting pushed out of the gym early on, but nice pushback from them. I do believe, though, even with the tired legs, Byron Center has the horsepower to run away with the game. Focus on 2, focus on 15, and this thing should be theirs.
What makes people stand in this line like this for 3 hours? Because we're not Dunkin' Donuts or Tim Hortons. These donuts are made fresh daily, and it's made with love and consistency. We got the same ingredients. It didn't change. The people know that, and that's why they standing out there.
Welcome back to the 6th annual Gotta Get It Classic. Mike Thomas and T-Trick Thomas, the founders of the Gotta Get It, the state's best tournament, 6 games. This has been a fabulous tournament, Mike. I know every year you reach out, you talk about getting the best games, the best teams. How have teams now started to respond now that they know what this tournament's all about?
You know what? It's been amazing, man. It's always hard trying to fit everyone in. You know, we get so many guys wanting to, or so many teams wanting to be a part of it. And me and my staff, we kind of strategically take our time to figure out the right games and things like that. And so sometimes we have to be the bad guys and just tell them, hey, you know, we won't be able to get you this year, but maybe next year. But you know, the process is fun, and so but we're learning every year, and we're getting better. We're getting better every year. So.
And T-Trick, the creative side of things this year, and the focus on some of the past. Now that you have that rich history, I know that's been active in your social media. Talk about that strategy and how that's gone.
Well, you know, it is year 6 for us, and we're always trying to do something better, you know, just keep elevating the overall experience for everyone. And this year we thought it was really important, especially because now, you know, 6 years later, we have guys who are now playing, you know, Division I basketball that played in the Hoop Classic. We have coaches that are coaching at other schools now that played. And so now it's like we really wanted to take a moment to just highlight that. And yeah, we thought it was important to bring that history, to the current experience.
First 3 years were at Grand Blanc, where this tournament started. The next 3 have been here at East Kentwood, your new home.
Yep.
How have you been able to transfer it from the east side to the west side seamlessly like this?
You know, I think it's about relationships. You know what I'm saying? I think I've been in the game. I'm an OG in the game now. You know what I'm saying? So I started off at 25. I'm going on 42 now,
Man.
and so I'm I'm an OG now, and so if you've been in here that long, you start to build relationships with some people, with some special people across the state of Michigan. And I just want to say thank you to all the people that have participated in it. Guys like Rick Palmer, Brother Rice, who's, I think this is his 4th year.
I think so.
And I think he has the most wins in this event anyway.
Wow.
So that's some history right there.
He's going for number 100 today.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's big time. We may have to do something for him if he gets it.
Yeah,
that'll be big.
for sure.
But then, just relationships like that, and then the hospitality. When you come here, we make you feel like you want to come back too. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's huge as well. So
You've also invested in this tournament, and as Mike said, look, sometimes you got to give a little bit to get back, and you guys have done that. What's it like putting together an event like this that's at a premium level and done the right way?
Well, hats off to our staff. We have an amazing staff, and this is the largest our staff has been. We've grown so much as an organization, and they have done an amazing job. I know you guys are going to have a chance to talk to some of our interns, our creative director, Taylor McClain. Without them, it's impossible. And then also, talking about what Mike mentioned about relationships, our sponsors are a huge part of that, and that's been, just based on relationships. And we always like to highlight that, the proceeds from the Hoop Classic go to support out-of-school time events for kids across the state of Michigan. And so that's why it's important for us to put on, a high-quality, a high-level event, because there's so much more meaning behind it.
Awesome. Well said. Let's talk about the alignment. It's east versus west.
Yeah.
A really cool thing, I think, geographically. How did you decide where to put East Lansing?
They come in with a lot of hype, with Cam Hudson and KJ Tolbert and those guys, and then you got some younger guys, KJ Thomas as well.
Yep.
And just based off how they represented last year too. I think they finished Elite 8, top 8 of the team last year, and then you kind of spend some time watching them in the summer, AAU and things like that. And so when we're putting those things together, all of those things come in account. What type of players you have, how good are your players, how good is your coach, those types of things. And it's been very successful for us over the last couple of years doing it that way.
Yeah. Lastly, tell us a little bit about what the fans can expect today when they come here to watch these games and some of the added things in the atmosphere that are here. I always like just listening to the music in between games.
Oh, yes.
You got some special. We'll start with a DJ.
Yes, we have a
day.
really great DJ that has been DJing for us for the past 3 years.
Yeah,
all 3 years, and so that definitely creates the environment. The Falcon News Network does a lot of work for us as far as all these jumbotrons that people will get a chance to see all the different graphics and the commercials that they'll be airing, and I think that really adds to that element. And I know you'll get a chance to talk to Erica Large, who interns for us, but she's also a part of that Falcon News Network family, and that's just been a great addition to our experience.
Thank you both. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
T-Trick, thanks so
Thank
much for having us. We really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
It's an honor to be here. 6th annual Hoop Classic. Gotta get it classic. Mike Thomas, T-Trick Thomas. We're back with more on the prep right after this.
My daughter, it was the opportunity for her to get the hands-on experience in the kitchen.
It really refuels his passion. He's cooking every day, all day. Every time they make something, he comes home and makes it all over again.
I'm RJ Taylor. I'm a sophomore point guard at the University of Northern Iowa, and I have a lot of great memories at the Gotta Get It Hoops Classic. One that comes to mind is my freshman year against Orchard Lake St. Mary's. It was on our home court, and it was a sold-out, standing room only crowd, and I felt like for me it was like my first time really playing on a big stage, and it was a great experience. And it was a game that went down to the wire, and I'll definitely remember it for a long time.
Jed and Evan back with you at halftime. And look, this has been a first half that's been a bit sloppy. The numbers are not sexy, Evan, but good competition, and there's a lot left in this game.
To me, it just speaks to, A, it's an earlier start time. Grand Blanc hasn't played since Tuesday, so they're a little rusty, and they had to wake up and make the bus right over here. And Byron Center just played maybe the state's best team, Muskegon, who we'll see later on today. So that's what I equate it to. I just think if you're Byron Center, the message had to have been in the locker room. Look, we've got 2, Key and Hinkle. We've got 50, Camden Carroll. Those are the best 2 players on the floor, in my opinion. So get on the ball. Let them make it happen. And if you're Byron Center and you commit to letting those guys make it happen, I think you're going to win this game by double digits, because Grand Blanc, try as they might, just can't get as close. They got as close as 1 point, but that's because Hinkle and Carroll were off the floor for a little bit. When those guys are on the floor, they can't get much closer than this. So I think if you're Byron Center and you lean into your 2 best players, you lean on who's gotten you to this point, you're going to win this game.
Byron Center shoots 30% from the floor in the first half, 6 of 20. Both teams just 1 3-pointer for their 7 and 6 shots, respectively. But it's a tight one, 4-point game, second half, and we're ready for this competition between the Saginaw Valley League's Grand Blanc Bobcats at 4-4 against the Byron Center Bulldogs at 8-3. So, more to come after this. East Kentwood and Renaissance will play in the next game, in Game 2, followed by Rockford against De La Salle at 3:30, Muskegon and Brother Rice at 5:15, Grand Rapids Northview and Warren Lincoln at 7, and then East Lansing and Orchard Lake St. Mary's at 8:45. We're ready for second half basketball. The inbound to McCree, 4 points to lead the way along with Sendry in the first half. 3-point shot, no. That's Huddleston. And the rebound by Carroll. And here comes Lee, one of the senior leaders, 4-year varsity guy. And he throws it away. The other way. Reverse lay-in is good. Athletic. Behind the back. Trick shot. Isaiah McCree.
McCree and Cooley, those 2 underclassmen starting for Grand Blanc, which is often a rarity. They've made plays. That's a heck of a shot to keep Grand Blanc close.
Key and Hinkle for 3, no. 2-point ball game just underway. Behind the play, falling down is Landon Conrad. Rip drive, the freshman, banker no. Huddleston's got his back, but couldn't put it down. And loose ball picked up by Donnie Huddleston. He's gonna jump shoot it. No good. Loose change rebound is good. That's Jaden Higgins at 6'5".
Grand Blanc has brought the fight to Byron Center. They never should have scored on that possession. Multiple offensive rebounds to keep it alive.
Tied at 19. Hinkle, corner three, splash city. That's Kean Hinkle, one of the top three-point shooters in the state.
And you could see it right there. He was sitting in that corner, ready to shoot it, thinking, give me the ball, give me the ball. They finally got it to him. It's a sweet lefty stroke.
Shooters keep shooting, and this guy keeps shooting as well. That's Jaden Higgins. And that'll hit the cable up top after the heel out. And so Byron Center gets a much-needed triple to fall in this game.
Just feels like to me Grand Blanc is working so much harder on the offensive and defensive end. And now maybe it looks like Byron Center sleepwalking a little bit because they just played last night with the quick turnaround as we've talked about. So much energy is being expounded by Grand Blanc.
Hinkle for three again. Don't let that man get hot. Number 2 has bagged a couple of long bangers. And Byron Center jumps out to their largest lead of 6.
High IQ play 2. Made sure his feet were behind that line to get the extra point.
Yes, sir. Short corner left, rebound, put back McCree. Timeout on the floor. We'll keep it right here, 25-21, but the offense is looking a little more crispy in this second half.
Yeah, especially for Grand Blanc, the offenses look good because of their effort on the offensive glass. They've got multiple offensive rebounds already in this third quarter to keep them in the game. That's why their offense has found some success here so far in the second half.
All right, sponsors to make this all happen. We thank our friends at Miller Johnson. Proudly sponsored this tournament. Miller Johnson Attorneys, it's where the growth of Michigan is at the core of their practice. Find them on Ottawa Avenue Southwest in Grand Rapids. Welcome back to the west side of the state. I know you like coming here.
Every once in a while, yes.
What do you like most about coming to the west side of the state?
It's beautiful. I mean, you know, sometimes in Metro Detroit, because it's been, I don't want to say this, it's been built up a lot.
Yeah.
So it feels like there's a lot of stuff on top of each other, and there's a lot of strip malls, and I love it. That's where I live. But doing a lot of games out this way, calling ball games for Western Michigan hoops, it's beautiful. And there's a little bit extra space, and people are darn proud to be from here, and they should be.
Yep. A lot of great produce is grown here.
And a lot of beer. Let's not sell ourselves short on the beer. Grand Rapids calls itself the beer capital of the Midwest.
Beer City, baby. Hinkle finds Jaden Bowman. And don't look now, the Bulldogs have bumped out to their biggest lead of the ball game.
And that was all set up because Hinkle hit a couple of threes, right? Defense is forced to respect his three. That allows Bowman to roll to the cup. Easy 2.
Screen goes offhand. Huddleston trying to find that offense, nursing that ankle that he turned in the early moments. The freshman to Huddleston, left elbow jumper short. Rebound by Lee, headed to Penn. He's an Ivy Leaguer, another coach on the floor. But he lost it here and gave up on it. Ripped away and stolen by McCree. McCree around Hinkle. Huddleston holds, works against Bont, and Carroll gets a block in the paint, but he got busted for it. They'll say there's contact with that wall up.
I got to see another look at this because live it looked like Camden Carroll got straight up on this, and there shouldn't have been a foul. I don't know, man. I thought that was pretty good defense.
Pretty good. Maybe a little body in the belly. He wanted an explanation as well, and the official just gave him that same kind of explanation. Hold the hands up. Tight one. Huddleston, top of the point, loses the defender. Elbow jumper, no. Nate Shimbera, no. Carroll trying to help clean up. Third crack on the possession, and there won't be a fourth. Ball out of bounds back to BC, but Grand Blanc is a scrappy group getting all kinds of opportunities.
No matter how this game ends for them, I'm going to walk away from this day when thinking of Grand Blanc, man, they worked hard. Their effort here in the third quarter, and a credit to their coaching staff for making sure they stay engaged. They have worked so hard in this third quarter.
6 more shots in the game. Carroll traveled before the bucket. They've been physical with him in the paint. And the turnover forced. Turnover number 9.
It's fascinating in games like this where clearly Carroll's the physical mismatch. He's got 3-4 inches on anyone Grand Blanc's going to throw at him. So What have they done to counter that? They're just bringing multiple looks. They're bringing multiple bodies, and they've clearly confused Camden Carroll. He hasn't scored since the first quarter.
Huddleston, who scored just that one bucket. Rebound Carroll, Hinkle on the run. On the right side, Kean, who has an offer from Aquinas and interest from Division IIs and IIIs. Lee corner three, Splash City. Isaac Lee popping that pill, his second triple of the game, and the Penn commit has Byron Center back up by 9, their largest lead.
Yeah, it's been their biggest thing that's gone right in this third quarter. They're making threes. Hinkle's got a couple of drop. Lee's got a couple of drop. You wonder if that helps to set up Carroll with some easy looks inside down the stretch of this game.
Yep, good point. Cannon against Lee, one of the top defenders in the OK Green. Huddleston with a show and go. Shimbera nowhere to go. The defense is tightened. Carroll, hand in the face of Jaden Higgins, but he's gone off for a couple buckets in the second half.
Not to sound like I'm exaggerating, but that's the type of shot that, frankly, keeps you in the game.
Hinkle, time and space, and that's a problem. Kean with 9 in the second half. Give him 11 for the game. That's the high scorer.
He's smooth, man. He's just so, he's one of those guys who plays the game fast while also going slow. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He makes the right play, but he's just so calm and collected about it.
3, no good, batted out by Bowman. Lee ahead, Hinkle saves it. Another 3 for Kean. Get out of here. Oh, Key with another 3. His 4th of the second half. Somebody caught fire. Somebody get the extinguisher.
That's a heat check, baby. When you are that open and you are that hot, just let this thing go, Kean. Little bit of time, little bit of space. Pass got tipped, no problems. Hand down, man down. Number 2 is hot.
Keep it right here. Want to tell you all about the Greenbrier Resort. All of today's Player of the Games are sponsored by the Greenbrier America's Resort, a world-class resort and historic landmark set in West Virginia's majestic Allegheny Mountains. Now listen, you love to golf, I love to golf, Alex Westfall loves to golf, Evan Westfall golfs for college for a scholarship, and Austin Sonnenberg's just drooling. He said, Greenbrier's a sponsor? Dude, we got to get down there. Well, guess what? He's going to be happy to know that we've pretty much locked up a potential trip to Greenbrier. And listen, they're a great sponsor, and we're happy to have them. One of the finest courses in this great land. One of the sponsors today.
It's unbelievable news. Nothing could bring me down the rest of the day. That's one of the courses on my bucket list.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Now, here's the deal. We get a foursome, so there's 5 of us.
Arm wrestle?
I mean, yeah.
Battle to the death?
Fine. I was thinking thumb wrestle.
Okay, all right.
But
you took thumb wrestle. I took mortality on the line. Okay.
Or do we take 5, so if somebody falls off during the trip, a substitute? Oh, an 8-some. Oh, Alex Westfall says we need 8. All right.
So now we're recruiting people.
Man, you're going to have to really grease Mike Thomas. 3 ball from the parking lot, no. It's an air biscuit. Shimbera kick, corner, hot hand, no. But why not try him again? That's Jaden Higgins. Carroll on the run. The big boy leading the break. Euro step lay-in, waved off. That was a travel or an offensive foul. What did they get, Evan?
I'm not quite sure what they got. I believe they called offensive foul. Whatever they call, this is the wrong decision from Carroll. 3-on-2, you've got an open shooter on the left. You pass it to him. I get it. You haven't scored in a while. You want to be aggressive. You want to get your name back in the score sheet. But that's the wrong decision. You kick it out there.
They got him with a foul there. I'd have to argue that was a travel before any kind of foul, but whatever, who am I? That's Gio Cannon with an 18-footer. Smooth-looking Jay from the 6'2 junior. Much-needed basket for Grand Blanc. Kean again. Heat checker no good. Carroll pops it out of bounds. And 4 in a row for Hinkle is where that streak ends. But it's been the story of this third quarter.
Yeah, it has. And for Grand Blanc, this game is not over. But as we've talked about, they work so hard to continually stay in this game with the rebounding offensively. And you could see then it was starting to leak on the defensive end. They were just losing guys and letting up open threes. They've worked so hard to stay in this game. You do wonder if they've got gas left in the tank for a run here, down 10 all of a sudden.
They get a 10-second call on Grand Blanc. They throw the old curveball after the fastball's been working all day.
Show them a little pressure. And again, that speaks to coaching. I've liked the job that Joe Rodriguez has done today for Byron Center. His team coming off a pressure-packed, tight game the last 2 games between Muskegon and Rockford. He's been smart with the subs today. He's kept the guys fresh, and so far the strategy has worked.
Huddleston with a steal here. 3. No. Ball ripped out. It'll stay the way of the Bobcats or not. Did they get Shimbera? Either way, Byron Center basketball.
Nice effort by Jenks either way for Byron Center. He got his paws in there, trying to corral the rebound. 2 points off the bench for Connor. I have liked the effort the junior has brought off the bench.
Hinkle rides the defender. Euro step rejected by Huddleston with a deep, dark stare and some words for Hinkle. But he'll go line left to get 2 shots here.
So there's this famous story John Thompson told Patrick Ewing in the NCAA tournament once to just take everything back, block everything, even if it was a goaltend. People remember getting your shot blocked more than points. But I'd argue the real winner here is Kean Hinkle. Yeah, he got blocked and Huddleston kind of stared at him, but Hinkle drew a foul. He's going right back to the line. He's a great shooter, so he'll probably make both. I don't know. It's one of those deals where you feel like Huddleston won the battle, but Hinkle ultimately wins the war.
Yep. Message was sent. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. With 35 seconds left in the third. We're coming back to the Gotta Get It Classic right after this.
The store is set up. He's got the order, and he's off. It's a full court press. These brands are knocking it out of the park. This, my friends, is the speed we've come to expect from this team. Just look at the precision of that move. And it's out of here.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McGinley scores!
That's Max O'Mara with a rip and drive off the glass, and this freshman showing out tonight in East Kentwood. There's a steal. Gio Cannon gets his club off to a 4-0 run after they needed it the most in that timeout.
And this just speaks to what Grant Blake has done all game. Just when you count them out, they bring the effort. They won't go away. You love to see it.
Yep. Hinkle working it. Kicks corner, drive, Jenks, shot, short. Offensive foul. Nate Shimbera stood in there and took that charge. Tougher than a $2 steak with that sacrifice. That's the end of the third quarter. Let's go to the fourth.
Your Catholic faith, it's at the core of who you are, what you do, and the decisions you make. At Alliance Catholic Credit Union, we make your faith and finances work together. From home needs to business needs, from school to retirement, we've got the financial well-being of our Catholic community covered. Visit us today and see how your faith and finances can work together. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss.
McGinley scores!
Well, free throw is always a factor in a ball game, and in this one so far, Byron center 8 for 8 from the stripe. Grand Blanc yet to get to the free throw line.
Yeah, and in an 8-point game, you look for those fine margins, right? Well, that's literally the margin. They've been to the free throw line 8 more times, and it's what we spoke to earlier. If you're Byron center, just double down on Hinkle, double down on Carroll, those two talents to get you to the finish line. That third quarter from Hinkle was remarkable. He scored 14 points in the quarter.
Man. Carroll, back to Hinkle. Back to Carroll. Carroll left block, powers his way up, tough luck miss. And here comes Grand Blanc, who's cut it down to 8. Shimbera ahead, kick, corner, cannon 3. In and out.
I just love everything about the way that Grand Blanc has battled today. You can tell they're playing a good team, but they ain't blinking with their effort. Fun to watch.
3-pointer short from Bont. 3-on-1 developing. Pass now low. Shimbera laying good. This is a 6-point game. All of a sudden, they've on a 6-0 run.
Yeah, blink your eyes and Grand Blanc's back in the game. We're sitting over here going, oh, I think Byron Center's going to kind of blow them out here in the second half. Not so.
Baseline drive, reverse. Too strong. Grand Blanc with numbers. Shimbera and Huddleston. Shimbera will end it. An 8-0 run. This is a 4-point game.
Awesome stuff from Grand Blanc. Just infectious to watch these guys work. We wondered that they have enough gas in the tank for a run. Yes, they had enough gas in the tank.
I couldn't understand you. You wanted 30? Okay, I was just saying the first ad read. Oh.
Want to thank our friends for having us to the Gotta Get It Classic. It's our 4th straight year. Gotta Get It? Who are they? Well, they're a nonprofit organization that prioritizes education, creativity, and physical and mental health. Gotta Get It facilitates programs and coordinates projects that provide opportunities for both young and young adults across the state of Michigan, including Genesee, Kalamazoo, and Kent counties. Again, a wonderful event. We're thankful to be here, and it started out with another great game in Grand Blanc and Byron Center.
You know, it's such an awesome treat for us to be here every single year because we are covering high school basketball all the way through the state finals at the Breslin Center. And every single year at this tournament, there are at least 2, if not 3, if not 4 teams that end up at the Breslin Center throughout Divisions 1 through 4. The talent is fun to watch. The style of play, my goodness, Grand Blanc almost got another opportunity. Threw it away on the pass, but still, turnover on the inbound, and Grand Blanc's proven they ain't going away.
Anybody's game. Hinkle to Carroll. Good 2-man game here. And Carroll with a 15-point game average, committed to Bowling Green, finds his way down low.
I believe those are his first points, Chad, since the first quarter. Credit to Grand Blanc for making him frustrated.
Foul on the floor, and they're going to get Landon Conrad, the senior two-sport guy, with a foul. Ball out of bounds, baseline right. This was a 12-point lead just a couple moments ago. It's down to 6. East Kentwood and Renaissance is next. Mike Thomas walking around looking like a cool Gilligan.
You're going to have to explain that reference to me.
Do you remember Gilligan's Island? You remember?
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
All right, you're a little too young.
I'm a little
sorry.
young, yeah.
Rob Hunter's got it. He's laughing. A cool-looking Gilligan. He was a sailor. He got lost on an island.
All right.
He wore the hat like that, the floppy hat. I want one of those, by the way. What do you call those? Fisherman hats?
I believe they're just floppy hats. Yeah.
Okay, well, pretty sweet. And he's got the Hawaiian on. And
It
you
sure
just got
does.
back from Hawaii.
I did.
Did you guys talk about that?
No.
Tell him. Say, hey, man.
I complimented him on his Hawaiian shirt, Mike Thomas, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, no better day to wear it. It's like 20 degrees and snowed 4 inches last night. I mean, it's basically Maui. Same thing.
That's an offensive foul on Huddleston. That's his second.
This is where Grand Blanc, any team can run into problems. We've talked all day about they fought so hard to stay in the game. They fought so hard to get this close. But you expend so much energy in the game of basketball just to get back in it, then you got to have enough energy to get over the finish line, to really take that lead, to really take the game. They fought so hard to just stay close. Let's see if, again, they have enough gas to get over the finish line.
Bont kick, corner, Lee three, Splash City. His third of the ball game, and the Bulldogs get 3 back quickly. They're up 9. Six triples in the second half. For Byron Center, they had just 1. This is an elite three-point shooting team. The laws of average would balance out at some point. That's the rookie Max O'Mara with a lay-in. He's having a fine game, just a freshman. 3-ball from Bont, and he cans it in front of his own bench. 47% from downtown, and this lead all of a sudden is back to 10.
So Bont makes the 3, but that's all set up by this Hinkle pass. I have no idea how he found him. That's unbelievable. Sick. That is Peyton Manning-like precision, finding him in the corner. It's our first game of the day. We may not have a better pass than that.
That was special. 4 dimes in the game for Hinkle. Lee is backcourt mate with 4 as well. So fine share to the Sugar. Byron Center starting to feel it. This veteran club. And there's a steal by Hinkle. 2 on none. Hinkle the other way. Glasser no good. And Bowman with a foul on that baseline. Grabbed Cannon. Oh, wow. Okay. My bad. I guess they called it on Grand Blanc. Ball out of bounds, baseline left. Lee will trigger.
We've talked about the shot clock already today. Let's keep in mind, how much does Byron Center bleed clock? In a situation like this, with no shot clock, you'd really take your time. That time trying to feed the post. They got a foul on O'Mara, but you know that freshman really has done a nice job on Carroll today.
He really has. He's been physical. 6'4" against 6'9" isn't easy. Division I commit against a freshman. But he's gone against his brother Bryce. That's got to go for something, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Hinkle for another 3. Back iron, no. Off the knee of Grand Blanc in this possession, this side of the ice or court. Getting pretty scraped up right now.
Yeah, really is. If I'm Evans, not to be too mean, but you got to clear that rebound. You can't let Byron Center kill some more time here with it being a 10-point game. Leads to that.
Backdoor dunk from Jaden Bowman. That's Cam Carroll headed to Bowling Green, and the lead has been bumped up to its largest of a dozen. Huddleston slowed with that injury early. Cross-court kick, 3 no good. Up with the rebound, 1 out by Bont. Bulldogs trying to close things out. Hinkle to Bont down the avenue, up to Bowman, laying good. But an offensive foul, another charge taken by Grand Blanc. They've got a knack for doing this.
They really do. They've brought the effort on both sides of the court. I'm telling you, I will walk away from this game impressed by the unselfish nature of Grand Blanc, and that's the freshman O'Mara. That's not easy, man. He took an elbow up near the face.
He did. Took an elbow to the chops. Have to get some frozen peas on that. We'll see if they got it at the hospitality tent. Oh, Lee says get that out of here. Free throws coming. I'm looking forward to hitting that hospitality tent. They got a salad for the Hunt Man and Pat. No cheese. Pat's on a strictly salad diet when he's with us. When we're with him, he doesn't eat salad.
Now what's a typical Pat the Stat salad topping dressing? Like what's that? Because this is new to me. I've literally never seen him eat a salad. So
yeah.
You spend more time with him than I do.
He likes the vinaigrette, the Italians. He goes healthy on us. But I've seen him at his home. He gets a little more liberal with it. He'll throw some ranch in on it. Oh, yeah, at home he's a little different eater, but he's healthy as a horse here. Rebound by Carroll. Missed free throw and a near steal. Trying to reach in on Bont. And that means over the limit, I believe. That is foul number 5. Yes. No, number 4. What kind of salad top dressing guy are you?
So my favorite salad ever is the antipasto salad from Buddy's. So,
yeah.
So that's my favorite. But I like a good Caesar. Just my thing is don't put too much dressing on it. Please don't soak the lettuce in dressing.
Okay.
You know, I want a little crisp to my lettuce.
It's been a crispy offensive performance for that man, Kean Hinkle, in the second half. He's put on a show. He's got 18 points now for the game and 14 in the second half.
Get that man a steak after this game. No salad for Kean.
Get him some looks and offers, too. There's a block by Carroll. Knocked out of there, and on the run is Bowman in his return to his former digs. He's going all the way, puts it up and scores it. That's got to feel good. Shimbera with a nice catch. The wide receiver got his 2 feet in, but Lee forces the turnover, banging it off of the point guard, McCree.
This is exactly what we talked about 3 minutes ago. So Grand Blanc spent so much energy to get back in the game. So much energy to make it 4 point. They just didn't have enough gas to close. And Byron Center did, which is really impressive because, again, what's their week been like? Yeah. Overtime loss on Tuesday to Rockford, who we'll see later today, one of the state's best teams. Loss last night to Muskegon, maybe the state's very best team, and they had enough gas to close this game. Speaks to their conditioning, speaks to their mental makeup, and speaks to the strong work of the coaching staff to make sure they were mentally and physically prepared for a game like this to close when they needed to. And they did.
Yeah, well said. Helps to have a couple of four-year varsity guys as well to lead you, in Lee and Carroll. And, of course, the surprise of the year, and Hinkle, who's really come on in this senior campaign. Bowman underneath. Passes to Carroll, who lays it in. Carroll with a dozen. Ball batted away. O'Mara in the backcourt, and that's going to go back to Grand Blanc.
Yeah, Hink was trying to save that thing, and he threw it to no man's land, hoping a teammate would get there. We've talked today about the lineage, the history of Grand Blanc. This is a great program, and they'll continue to be a great program. They've had great coach after great coach. But today, they just ran into a Byron Center team that was a little bit stronger, Chad, a little bit more talented.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue tougher. Grand Blanc showed their toughness all day, but it's a really good Byron Center team. They got bright future ahead of them.
You bet. Attack, no Carroll stick back. It wouldn't have counted, but it'll be Cash Bont, birth name Cassius, going line left, getting rewarded. The other thing about Grand Blanc, of course, the semifinalists, the final, I mean, they lost to Darius Acuff in 2 years back in the semifinals. Like, what, a half-court shot at the buzzer?
Half-court buzzer beater, yep.
Mike Thomas did some great things. I know that was the other coach. Byron Center, 8-3, 1-1 in league play, 1,300. They play out of Division I in basketball, Division II in football. And this is a powerhouse of a program in the basketball, living up to some of the other success that the other sports have had. This could be their best year in school history.
It was funny. So we asked Coach, you know, hey, what's it like? Your football team has this great year, trying to continue all the athletic momentum. And he goes, well, not to be that guy, but I got to point out this team was really good, and this team was really good, and this team was really good. So there's an awesome athletic lineage right now of Byron Center. And that really does bleed through a school. I mean, let's just kind of pull the curtain back here. You went to St. Mary's, I went to Catholic Central. When we were at school there, and it's still the truth there today, all the teams are good. So all of the teams feel this pressure like, man, I got to hold up my end of the bargain here, right? And that basketball team clearly feels that pressure of, oh, these guys are really good, and these girls are really good. Like, we have to be good too, you know?
And aside from the pressure, it's good, healthy competition.
Yeah.
Internally, right? I mean, I want to be as good as your program. I want your program to be as good as mine too.
Right.
But it is some competition.
It's that cliche we've heard a million times of a rising tide lifts all ships, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. This Byron Center team has a notable win earlier this year. It was in Clarkston, Michigan. They knocked off Warren Lincoln after they had a really strong start, kind of went into a rut, and then they came back to win that game after trailing. I know Warren Lincoln was without a couple of players in that game, but that kind of got this Byron Center team believing that, look, we can beat a top-tier team in this league and an east side of the state team.
Oh, absolutely. We'll see the Abes later on today in the second-to-last game, defending state champs in Division II, regardless of division, one of the best teams in the state of Michigan. That's why if you're Byron Center and you're a program that you're trying to make a little history this year in basketball, you play tough teams early. You got to play those type of guys. You got to beat those type of guys to get yourself believing going forward.
And, you know, you asked Coach a good question in our call this week. You said, how has he sort of evolved as a coach? And he mentioned analytics is a big part of what they do as well at Byron Center. That's really becoming a part of the game at the high school level now.
Yeah, in every sport. Guys are noticing the numbers, and they're saying, hey, I've got this extra tool. I may as well take advantage of this extra tool. I think it's smart. I think analytics in every sport has become this boogeyman of, oh, you're taking out the emotion. No, it's just an extra tool. And I think if you don't use it, if you don't value it, it's not very smart.
Right on. Missed short shot off the mark. Easton Weichers missed it. And Byron Center's bench is pesky.
Yeah.
The fight continues. And the kid in the corner, Blommeling, is jumping for the ball. Helter-skelter, Cam Hairston lost it. Everybody's on the floor getting dirty on the deck. And now Andrew Blommeling has it. Finds the corner. Loudon Tilma for three. Splash City for the Blonde Ambition Tour. Haven't seen great blonde hair like that since we saw Jam Jan. Right wing three is short, not out of bounds. Don't forget we'll have our G of the game afterwards. As time winds out, Evan, and this thing strikes zero. Byron Center by 17, but it didn't always feel that way.
No, this was much more of a single-digit game. Byron Center just had enough gas to beat Grand Blanc in this game, but I walk away from this game thinking Byron Center's really good. They've got the pieces and the horses to make a run, and I'm just impressed by the makeup of that Grand Blanc team. Clearly they were outmatched physically today, but they were not outmatched toughness-wise. They battled their butts off. Give credit to them.
Hi, I'm Nick DePonio, and this is HVAC.
Today's matchup between Byron Center and Grand Blanc is brought to you by Superior Asphalt Incorporated, your local West Michigan paving company providing service beyond the surface since 1983. Welcome back, Chad Bush alongside Evan Stockton, and we'll talk to our G of the game. And yeah, it's that guy, spoiler alert. It's Kean Hinkle, who had 18 points in this game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, a couple of steals, and really took control of this third quarter in a quarter that Byron Center needed a little bit of a bump. And they came out and put up 19 in the third, and they did so behind the three-point barrage that was started for Hinkle, who hit 4 straight in that game. And we'll talk with Kean in just a moment and get his thoughts on this contest. And Byron Center, it was a tight game at the break and kind of a mud fight for both teams to get on track. But in the end, Byron Center pulls it out, and our G of the game joins us now. Here he is, Kean Hinkle. Kean, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
This was a game at which things started off a little slow for you guys. Understandably so. You played last night,
yeah, for sure,
against Muskegon, but you really got this team going in the third quarter with that three-point shot. Tell us a little bit about that, and was it a intentional approach to get you going in the third from distance?
No, I was just finding my spots. My teammates found me open. I was just able to knock down the shots. My shot was feeling good, so I was just knocking them down.
So many different options for you guys offensively. You've got Cam Carroll, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
You've got so many guys in Lee, many more, but you're the main distributor. What's it like being the guy that has all these pieces to play with?
Yeah, just coaches trusting me to have the ball in my hands a lot, so I just try to make the right play, find my teammates. My teammates find me, so it's just a team chemistry type of thing.
Yeah. How far can this team go? I know high expectations with all the talent.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is your year and your team's year?
Yeah, I think it's our year. Last year we were pretty solid too, but this year I think we're really together. If we buy in, we listen to coaches, we stay confident, I think we can go a long way.
Talk about your game a little bit. It seems that we've seen a lot of things from you. The distance shooting, the driving, the floaters, and then you can attack the 10 as well.
Yeah.
How would you describe your game?
I would say I'm a 3-level player. I can I can distribute really well. I come off the ball pretty well. Obviously my shot's pretty well. And I think I just drive and distribute really well.
Kean Hinkle, our G of the game.
Thank
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Evan and I are coming back with more in a minute. Our G of the game, Kean Hinkle, 18 points in the contest, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and he knocked down 4 triples. Evan and I will wrap things up in a moment. You're watching the Preps coverage of Byron Center's win, 58-41 over Grand Blanc.
Gotta Get It is a nonprofit organization that prioritizes education, creativity, and physical and mental health. We aim to cultivate resilience in youth and young adults so that they are equipped to be the change we need in our communities. We facilitate programs and coordinate projects that provide opportunities for young people to explore their interests, learn useful skills, cultivate social capital, and develop leadership skills in accordance with our mission to create a sense of urgency to accomplish unforeseen goals without making any excuses.
There you see Byron Center wins it 58-41. And this is a ball game in which, look, Evan, it wasn't indicative the way this game was played, a 17-point margin to victory, but it was tighter for most of the contest.
No, I mean, Byron Center saw Grand Blanc get back to the after the game for Byron Center, but Grand Blanc and Byron Center just had that extra push, that extra oomph to get them over the finish line, and it's a credit to Kean Hinkle, who you just spoke to. It's a credit to Camden Carroll. It's a credit to their whole group. It's a very good team Byron Center has.
No doubt. All right, well, that'll do it for this. We're back with more. We've got 5 more games.
That's it?
That's it. This was a good start. This was a good tease. More to come. Thanks for hanging, buddy. We'll talk to you shortly. For Evan Stockton and your executive producer, Alex Westfall, my name is Chad Bush. Byron Center wins it 58-41, behind 18 from Kean Hinkle, 12 from Cam Carroll, and 11 from Isaac Lee. We're back with another game coming up right after this.